have experts like Lou that does more than just do bankruptcies. He does so much more, and we're going to get into that. But we don't want to, we teased them a little bit right at the break.
That's
because
right.
everything's, I don't want to talk to a bankruptcy attorney. That's embarrassing. Oh, my goodness. Wait till we go
There's
over.
a moral dilemma.
Yeah, everybody says it's a moral dilemma. Isn't it a financial tool? Is it not?
It is.
Legal financial tool?
It's been a financial tool since Deuteronomy 15.
Right. You should be forgiven of your debt every
7 years.
7 years. Okay. So now we're going to the Bible. Look at us go.
We can just look at all the references we've made. We're rolling.
Wealth of knowledge today.
So, speaking of wealth of knowledge, these people that you're going to hear that filed bankruptcy, some of you go, duh. You go, I can guess the why. And then some of these you go, you are absolutely kidding me. And these are people that have changed America, too.
Well, let me say it this way. Name 3 presidents who have filed for bankruptcy and appear on our currency today.
I know it's not Franklin.
That's right.
Well, we just made the mic spike on that
No
one.
doubt.
Sorry
It's like,
about that.
and for those of you out there going, well, why not Franklin? I love that dollar bill. I don't think he was a president.
That's right.
But I know. Okay, we'll just start off with obviously one of our favorite. Lincoln.
Lincoln,
Yeah.
Very cool.
Jefferson,
Jefferson.
and Grant.
Wow.
And nobody knows that.
Yeah.
I mean, most don't have a clue that 3 of our presidents have filed bankruptcy.
Truman as well.
There you go.
So 4.
Yes.
Wow.
4 presidents. All right, let's go through. I mean, we got.
Can't wait to file bankruptcy. Be a president.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, you got presidents that have, and of course, then you got some notable, celebrities. And,
Right.
and this is where I'm like, a few of these you get. Now, Trump, all right.
Well,
business.
it was actually
Now-
the Trump casinos.
Now let's talk about Trump, though. Trump utilizes bankruptcy as a financial instrument almost better than anybody I know. He personally isn't bankrupt.
No.
He's got tons of money, but he utilizes bankruptcy, particularly business bankruptcy,
Correct.
to his advantage, to gain some sort of advantage against the unions or to save money and to be able to continue to expand his empire.
Well, at least twice. I mean, the casino in Atlantic City filed at least twice.
Okay.
So, we got American Airlines in bankruptcy now.
I mean, there's big companies. I mean, we all heard. I mean, let's just go to
we
the
have
obvious.
GMAC.
GM and Chrysler.
Yeah.
Chrysler.
I mean, those are big companies
Right,
that
GM.
used it, and without it, they wouldn't be here today.
Correct.
There's no way.
That's
they
right.
were going down. So we wouldn't be driving because of it, it's an amazing the comeback they have, and that's a great piece. I never even thought about that, but using bankruptcy correctly and legally, it gives you an opportunity for a great comeback.
It certainly does. And I have seen that countless times with my clients who are more entrepreneurial. They've taken the risks that you're supposed to take, didn't work out, file, get right back up on the horse, and off they go again.
I love that. It was a risk that they should take. I mean, that's what America's built on.
We wouldn't have the society and the economy we have today if people didn't go out there and take risks.
So let's talk about that for a second, because you mentioned entrepreneurs, and Don and I bring up entrepreneurs all the time, and we said that that's what we need in this economy in order to recover again. We need people to be entrepreneurs. Don't be afraid. Go ahead and take that risk. And if something goes wrong, there's a way to take care of that.
Well, and I'm starting to. I'll be honest with you. I'm starting to see that. My clients who I'm running through bankruptcy cases and getting them out of their debt. What I then do is, as their business, because I become their business attorney, and I form a corporation for them, and we begin operating the business through a corporate entity, and then I stay on and I assist them and I advise them in how to be aware of how not to fail.
I love that.
How not to fail.
I hope you're listening out there right now, because this is good stuff, Lou.
Yeah.
You're listening to Lou Esbin, our debt doctor with Esbin Law, and these pearls of wisdom are amazing. And it's good stuff because it's more than just bankruptcy.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely. And just in case you do want to get in touch with Lou, we haven't done that yet, and it's absolutely critical because we're talking about some great stuff. You're actually a business attorney.
I am a business attorney.
So that's fantastic. So if you want to get a hold of Lou, text Don and Gino to 72727, or send us an email at donandgino@gmail.com, or check us out on Ustream, ustream.tv. Just type Don and Gino in the search engine.
And we can always go, you got esbinlaw.com.
Right.
I mean, it's very simple. esbinlaw.com.
Correct.
Because we have Lou Esbin in the house. Just trying to help you out there.
I appreciate that.
Because you need to reach out to him. He's a great guy. That's why we have you on the show, so they get to know you as we know you. and because people are scared to death to talk to a BK.
And these shows, these shows will be on my website as well,
Fantastic.
so that people can go back and listen to them. But the how not to fail and working with clients in a business context, I take the 26 years of bankruptcy and business experience I have, and so that when they want to enter into agreements with other entities, I look at those agreements from the perspective of, hey, what happens if the other company files for bankruptcy? How do we plan things so that you get protected? I've done deals where client has sold a business, and I was really worried that the buyer was going to fail when we took back paper. Well, I had to figure out how to best structure that so that the client took back the business. I had one client sold the business 3 times.
It
was great. Yeah.
He's smiling if you aren't watching this. I mean, it's great because, you just love helping people.
Well, yeah, because, we sold the business, had to take it back, sold it again, had to take it back, and then sold it again and finally went stuck. But client came out in a great place.
Yeah, we actually know someone in the past that's done the same exact thing. Built a business, sold the business for a ton of money. The company failed miserably under its new corporate structure, bought it back for nothing.
Right.
Built it right back up to what it was and sold it again.
My client didn't have to buy it back.
He got it back.
Because the way we structured it was that he was able to
acquire it.
No, he took it back.
There's a big difference.
There's a very big difference.
See, and that's getting sound advice. That's what's beautiful is the advice you give is more than just how to handle just debt, but it's how to handle your business. And I love that, how not to fail, because as we were talking about on break, Lou, you brought it so eloquently, and I have 100 of them in my library of how to succeed. I know, Gino laughs, I'm a junkie on it. I go to seminars on it. I speak at those seminars even.
Don Geottling, folks, also known as Webinar Boy.
Totally. I am.
But nobody speaks on how not to fail.
And I'm going to throw this out there. We are going to work on collaborating with a few other experts, and we're going to build a book. We're going to write a book on how not to fail, and it started right here on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. And Lou Esbin's going to be part of that because I think that's brilliant. Because people aren't told how not to fail. And I've been in business for myself a lot. I've been in this for 25 years. And trust me, I would have loved that book because I could have probably avoided some mistakes that I paid for dearly.
And yeah.
and others have made them in the past, so no reason to repeat them.
Well, and I have, hundreds, thousands of client case studies and what they did and how I pull them out that I can draw upon.
Well, we're gonna touch on that because remember, Lou mentioned that he wakes up, each day and checks out new cases.
Well, not as soon as I wake up, I
coffee. No, I get it. But one of the things you do to start your day is you review cases and stuff, and we want to touch on some of those cases. We only got a couple more minutes about another minute before break, so we can't dive into it yet. But you're going to want to hear this because these are real cases, are they not?
Yeah, it's really critical for me that I begin my day where I take a look at what case law was reported throughout the United States the day before that may impact what I'm going to do that day or any of my clients that I have matters pending for at that time.
That's really great. I really want to get into that because it also ties into the timeliness that we're always looking at. It's timely information.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be caught surprised by someone who's a little more timely than you are.
That's correct.
Good point, Gino. Look at you go. Gino in the house. So we're definitely going to dive back into that. We have, just to name a couple others, but right before we go to break, that filed bankruptcy, MC Hammer, Mr. T, Anna Nicole Smith. Those were
Anna Nicole is actually a very famous case. Bankruptcy judge down here in L.A. had her bankruptcy case. I had clerked for him when he first came on the bench. And her case actually wound up being a critical Supreme Court case that has now changed bankruptcy jurisdiction.
Nice. So you're going to hear more from our debt doctor, Lou Esbin, on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. We'll be right back.